I hope everyone can hear me well, see me well, so we're going to get started. When Jamila contacted me to conduct one of the first webinars of 2021 for UzSWLU members, I was really excited, but at the same time, really worried because I knew that this is going to be in English, and I haven't really practiced my English since I returned to Uzbekistan in 2019. So throughout this last year, I didn't speak for more than 2 minutes in English language, and I really worried at the time. But you know, I kind of gained confidence, I don't know, somehow, and here I am. I called my today's presentation How to Win Scholarships and Secrets of Being a Great Teacher. So everything I'm going to present to you guys today is truly and solely based on my experience. So there is nothing I have, Googled and prepared it for you. Now, everything which I have learned, went through, here they are in a form of presentation. So I'm about to start then, guys. So let's go. I'm going to start with, let me just put that way. There we go. I'm going to start with scholarships. So is there anyone among you who have applied to any international scholarships they know?
Yeah, Chevening we have Fulbright.
Fulbright, great. Anyone?
Key Program Teachers Excellence Award.
Oh, right.
From
Yes.
US Department of Education.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Excellent. So I've put here all the scholarships I've applied several times.
Oh.
Yes. And sadly, though, I could only win 2 of them, but not sadly, but luckily, I guess I could only win 2 of them. In the future, I hope I will get to, I will try to apply for other ones and hopefully win. Right. So the most prestigious ones I've ever known are Chevening, Civil Society, DAD, and Fulbright. So I've applied for all of them, but thanks to God, but not thanks to God, but luckily I got 2 of them. Fulbright FLTA in 2018, at the same time with Civil Society Scholarship Award Program. And, that was really interesting moment for me because I had to choose between 2 of them. One, which could allow me to go to the United States for FLTA program, where I could exchange, teaching experience and also improve my English. But on the other hand, there was this Civil Society Leadership Award Program, which enabled me to go to the UK and study for my master's degree. It was really difficult moment to choose between these 2, and I consulted with everyone who won FLTA and who won Civil Society that I've ever known, and they all kind of, directed me and advised me to choose Open Society, which I guess was really right thing to do for me. So there we go. I want to now share my experience of how to win a scholarship. So is there anyone, before I start, I want to know, is there anyone who has won any of these scholarships and has been abroad?
Okay, Anaka, chat'ga yazışsın Ravshan. Maybe.
All right, okay.
Yes,
okay.
Right to the chat. Okay. If we switch off, we don't make microphones, please, guys.
Yes.
Netiquette. Okay.
All right, there we go. So secret number 1, that's the very essential cornerstone of I don't know, applying for any scholarship. Understand the concept of the program. So most of the people I've met who couldn't win any scholarship, they have applied over the 3 or 4 years, is that they applied for these scholarships without understanding why this scholarship exists. So I've put here one example. Civil Society Leadership Award Program, which I have won. So this program is for those individuals who clearly demonstrate academic and professional excellence and who have got commitment to lead some change in their communities, in their society. So if you are, for example, English language teacher and you want to apply for this scholarship and win it, but if you're approaching from the perspective and from this, you know, teaching bubble, like, okay, if I'm going to win this scholarship, I will have a great chance to improve my language skills, improve my, let's say, teaching skills and other teaching skills, I don't know, personal skills, then I'm afraid you will not make it to the second, or yes, to the second round. Now, this scholarship is for leaders who want to lead someone, who want to make some change in their community, positive change. So approaching it from the perspective of a teacher, I'm afraid doesn't work. So the first secret everybody should note and keep in mind is this: understand the concept of the program, why this program exists, why. So this helps you greatly. You know, once you are in it, you will find your own way leading to this program, leading to the second round, leading to the third round, which also leads me to the second secret. Secret number 2, understand the selection process. When I was at the second round, so let me briefly introduce what the rounds are. The first one is application, as you know. So any of the scholarships you have seen about, they all have 3 rounds of selection, the finalists or the grantees. So the first round is application part, which consists of short answer questions and essays. And second round, there will be interviews. So the committee wants to see real you and what you are capable of. Are you that person? Describe it in your essays and in your application. And in the third one, you will apply for the universities and you try to enter them. So these are the 3 rounds of any selection process of that scholarships you've seen about. So let me go through each of them one by one. When it comes to application process, please keep in mind that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of other candidates who are just like you, who have got who've got maybe better experience as a teacher, or who've got better English than you. But you should keep in mind that you should have a competitive edge over them. It might be 8 or 9 on IELTS, or I don't know, TOEFL or CFR, or you have had something, or you have something that distinguishes you from the rest of the candidates. Like I've put here, volunteering experience. So most of you might be pondering and even wondering, what if we don't have them? So I've put here another like secretish message, which says, can anyone read it for me, please? Excellent. So can anyone read this one for me, please?
Take it until you make it.
Exactly. And can you please help translate?
O'zingiz bajarib ko'rmagunizcha ishonmang deganimi?
Yana. Please more. Yeah, more.
Siz uni amalga oshirmaguncha u yo'q narsa, balki soxtadir.
Yana, more, please. More. Fake it until you make it. That means pretend like try to pretend as if you have done the things or you have achieved the things. So this concept helps you in writing your application, in answering the questions in your essays. Fake it until you make it. Okay, I have also faked some facts by myself in the application process. So that helps you. Okay, so just keep it in mind. And so during the application process, all right, please open 2 windows on your computer. On the one, please go to the website of this scholarship and put there what are the aims of the scholarship. On the second one, please type your essays. And every time you move from paragraph to paragraph, look at that aims of those of that scholarship. And every time try to correlate your essays to those aims, because when it comes to the selection process, so the committee selection committee will do what? They take the main goals of this scholarship and they put your essays onto the next to it and they start to compare. If they find correlations between them, so they will say, okay, this candidate can go through to the second stage, these ones are out.
Ravshan, just here, I just want to jump in, okay?
Yep.
So this is the main point. Even me didn't pay attention to the application because what they want, you should do exactly that things.
Yeah. So
it's very interesting.
Anyone who wants to make comments in Uzbek language, in Russian language?
Uzbekçe bo'lsa-ham ustozlar, hech ham tortin mayli. Xitoycha bo'lsa-ham mayli. Nozimbek, qaysi tilda gapirasiz?
Ravshan aka,
Yes.
I have some question for you. May I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Most of us know what should we do before the application process. However, we don't know how to be evaluated or assisted our essays and our documents maybe. Can you?
Yeah. I got you.
Process?
Yeah, Nazim, I got you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. So Nazim John is basically asking how we can make our essays that good, which impresses the selection committee and lets us go through the next stage. Well, one way, as I said, to have all the aims of that scholarship in mind while you are writing your essay. Again, pay attention to the aims. Why is that scholarship? Why that scholarship exists? For example, like this one. Individuals who clearly demonstrate academic and professional excellence and have a deep commitment to leading positive social change in their communities. So I will keep this who wants to lead positive social change in their communities.
Сейчас, другой линк дам. Сейчас, минутку, сейчас другой дам.
Yeah.
Да. Just a minute.
All right. Okay.
Да.
All right.
Okay.
So, Nazim John, so keep this in mind. That's the brief overview of the scholarship, but below it, there are several aims of this scholarship. This scholarship wants to help those who want to blah, 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 blah. So you will use them as a key word in your essays. That's the one tip. Tip number 2. I will explain it in the next slide, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me explain all I have in this slide, and I will go to your question with the next slide. Okay.
Okay.
So when you are at the second round, let's just imagine that you have gone through the first round and now you are in the second round. So interviews. I wasn't the only one from Uzbekistan who took part in this stage of Civil Society Leadership Award Program in 2018. So they invited us to Kazakhstan, Almaty, and there were approximately 60 candidates from Uzbekistan.
Oh,
So out of which I guess they have selected only 4 or 5. Out of 60, yes. And during the interviews, I have learned and I've witnessed that all the questions the interviewing committee asked from me were based on my essays, were based on my application and the program concept. So they kept asking, what change would you make in the management or in the sphere of education if I got accepted or to this scholarship, or if I won this scholarship? So I repeated everything I have learned from the page of the scholarship. Aims, aims, aims. I said, I want to make a positive change in my community by organizing blah, 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 blah. All my answers were based on the program concept. I didn't say anything that could have been, you know, outside the concept of the program. No, I stuck, let's say, to the program concept in each and every of my answers. That was the main key point in interviews. And also I've put here the letter of thanks. So try to write sort of short letter of thanks to those who interviewed you, and then send it to their emails, not right after the interview, but, you know, sometimes later in the evening, for example. I did so, and it really helped me, I guess. Why? Why I'm suggesting you to write a letter of thanks and send it to the interviewing committee, interview people who interviewed you. Why? Because it kind of, you know, leaves your name in their mind, in their ears all the time.
It's a psychological pressing.
Exactly. Exactly. I did it, and it helped me not once but twice. And with these 2 scholarships I won, I wrote the letters to the people who interviewed me. I found them on the internet, and I found their emails, and I wrote to them, thank you for today's interview. It was really great, and thank you giving me this chance, blah, 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 and blah. Why? Because when it comes to the selections, all right, they will be reading, you know, the names of the candidates, and your name will pop up all the time, you know? Why? Because you, as Jamila said, you know, influence them psychologically. You put your name into their minds with simply sending them a letter of thanks. Please do it. If you go to the second round, it helps.
Okay, this is very important.
Yeah, that was the best part.
Yeah. I heard it for the first time. Maybe I won more contests if I wrote. But I only did it 3 times only. 3 times only.
Three times. God. You were exceptional, Jamila, but 3 times, no one.
I know.
So, next one. So still, when you go through the second round and come to the third, so there might be hundreds of applicants just like you. And then, but the program can only afford, let's say, 200 of you. So they will specifically look for the candidates who succeeded in applying 3 universities. So if Nazim John has applied and others too, you know that in the application process, they ask you to select 3 universities where you could possibly go and study or go and work as a teacher assistant in the case of FLTA Fulbright. So they ask you to choose 3 universities, 3 potential universities if you, for example, won that scholarship. And in the 3rd round, try to approach each of these universities equally, let's say, seriously as possible. Why? Because, you know, the selection committee at the 3rd round will say, all right, we have now 500 candidates for 200 people to 200 available slots. How we choose them? Okay, we will choose only those who succeeded in entering 3 of these universities, not only 2, not only 1, because all the people I have communicated while we met during the meetings of the scholarships and in other, you know, moments while I was abroad, they all mentioned the same thing. They entered 3 universities. This is very important. So for this reason, just suppose you went through the round 1 and you also went through round 2 and you are now in round 3. And they ask you to apply for these 3 universities and be accepted. Treat them equally important. Try to do your best in admission process. Make sure they accepted you as a student. So this is the last part of this part of 3rd round.
So now
Okay.
there is no secret number 2. Now we know the secret number 2.
Yeah, yeah. And here we come to the secret number 3.
Oh.
Nazim John, this might help you a lot and others as well.
Okay, I'm
Be
here.
consistent. Be consistent. Anyone who helps me with the translation of this word, consistent? Laborapa, consistent.
Настойчивый. Настойчивый.
Okay, okay.
Maybe it means to continue.
Yep, yep. More, yes. True.
Be patient, persistent, yes?
To be
Persistent. Maybe
Настойчиво. Настойчивый. Будьте настойчивы.
Yeah.
А,
Be
настойчивый.
consistent. Yeah, yeah.
Настойчиво.
Dear,
yeah, I would like to say it would be something connected with patient.
yeah. Okay.
Хат или-
Настойчиво.
Да, настойчиво, настойчиво.
Yes, true. Right, what I mean by being consistent, I haven't met anyone, Salimapa, who have won their scholarship in their first attempt. I haven't seen anyone.
You are totally right, because I won after my 3rd attempt.
Yeah.
You are right.
So, Nazim John, if you have applied to any of the scholarships, grant programs I showed about for 2 times, 1 time, I don't know, be consistent. Try it next year as well. Following year as well, and you will succeed.
Yeah, Ravshan, even I have applied 5 times, maybe 4 times for so many scholarships program. However, I have never got achievements. That's why, and just right now, I have no any kind of hope and wish to apply. And after this webinar, and I will do it. I hope I will do it.
Yes, certainly.
Do it.
Certainly. Maybe you are not, maybe you weren't really aware of the secrets, let's say, I'm sharing today with you while you were applying for those scholarships. So I hope this presentation will help you a lot.
Yes.
And I also share why you might be failing you know, consecutively 4 or 5 times in those scholarship application process and so on. I will do. Right, be consistent. I haven't met any person who have won their scholarships in their first attempt. I myself got my CSLA Leadership Award program in my 3rd attempt. In my first, I couldn't even go through the 2nd round. In my 2nd attempt, I went through the first stage but failed in the interviews. In the 3rd one, luckily I got mine. I wish the same to you. I wish you got your scholarship in your first attempt, but it's something that might be really difficult. But if you fail, okay, do not stop there. Apply again. While applying, please pay attention to the following secrets. First, develop your thoughts on your essays year by year. Do not simply copy the essays of your previous application and paste it to the new one. It's your greatest mistake. No. You know, improve its accuracy, improve its grammar. Use grammarly.com. I don't know, there are so many other websites which can check for accuracy of your essay. So make it perfect in terms of grammar. Next, tell a story in your essays and develop your thoughts year by year and add a story. Do not say like, one day I woke up in the middle of nowhere and I was lost. So these stories don't work with the scholarships. No. So it can work with bachelor's degree programs, yes, but not with the master's degree programs or with the scholarships which offers master's degree. No. But rather look at mine. It can help you. I wrote in my essay and I repeated it during the interviews that I have made an impact. I managed to make an impact inside the classroom. I explained that I have helped so many students to get their desired band score on IELTS and enter foreign universities. Like most of my students went to Korea. Most of them are in different parts of Europe. And I explained and I proved that I have made impact inside the classroom. And I told them that now I feel I can do much better outside the classroom. I can change the management of education, the management of the schools, so that not only 1 or 2 students can go abroad, but all had the same chance. So I tell them, I wrote these lines in my essays and I repeated it to the interviewing committee. So by this way, this way, I showed the link between my application and my interview. So I stuck to my line of story, and I recommend for you to create your own story, just like mine. It helps you a lot. This is actually your desire, your motive behind applying for that scholarship. So simply they ask you why you were applying for that scholarship. So how do you answer? Get prepared. And one way to do so would be to create your own story, just like this. Next one. Correlate your intentions essays with the program intentions, which I have already mentioned to you. So program is, for example, if the program is seeking for leaders, then do not write in your essays that you are a great teacher who wants to improve his speaking or his teaching skills with the help of this program. No. The program intention is to find leaders and help them improve. So show yourself as one of them, as the candidate who 100% matches to the program criteria. So correlate your intentions and advocate for others. Look, this is really powerful tool to I forgot the word, to persuade others to choose you. Advocate for others. So who can help me with the translation of this phrase, advocate for others? Anyone? Salimopa, advocate for others. Nazmopa, advocate for others.
Advocate for others. Maybe is it something to be helpful for others?
Yeah, yeah. You came really close. Yeah.
You should show with the evidence your best points.
Sure.
Maybe ask others to support him or her.
Yeah, correct. So while you're writing your essays, for example, or let's assume that you are on the second round during the interviews, you know, try to show that you're not doing this just because you want to be a leader. No. Rather, try to show yourself that you are doing it for the good of people. Say to them that if you win the scholarship, you will come back to your home country and help others to win the scholarship, or to go abroad, or to make some positive change in their lives. So advocate for others in your essays and in your interviews. Show them that you're not applying for this scholarship just because you want to go to the United Kingdom and study in Nottingham University. If I were the member of selection committee, I wouldn't really choose you. Rather, I would choose someone who would advocate for others. Like, you're an English language teacher and you want to go and study at the University of Nottingham in the field of teaching English to how do we say this, people, to the children with some physical disabilities. So this will help you to get the attention of those members of interviewing committee and help you, you know, to go through the next stage. So advocate for others. Nazim John, probably this would help you a lot. And secret number 4, dear colleagues, relate your application to reality. So as I mentioned, I also won FLTA Fulbright scholarship, but I had to reject it because I had Civil Society Leadership Award program. So why? Not why, sorry. I will explain you how I got this one. Okay. So in my application, I wrote everything as they were in real life. So I wrote about the reforms Uzbekistan, the government of Uzbekistan, the Ministry of Education was doing in the field of language teaching. So is there anyone among you who have worked in Academic Lyceum? Anyone? Anyone
No.
who has worked or is still working?
I have never worked.
You haven't?
Shahriar, Shahriar, is it you? Shahriar?
Yeah.
No, it's Shahriar.
Okay,
yes.
Shahnazapa says yes, she has. Okay.
Mhm.
So if
Yeah, it's
you,
me. It's me.
right, okay. If you have, then you know that English lessons were divided into 4 and 5, like listening and speaking, improving writing, improving reading, and so on. I can't clearly recall exact names, but I just wrote whatever we had in real life at Academic Lyceum. So, and I put that as a reform the government of Uzbekistan and the Ministry of Uzbekistan was undertaking at that moment. So I wrote the reality. And also, you can point out the government agenda for development of education or for the development of the sphere you are qualified in, like language teaching. I, for example, met some candidates who wrote like, if I got this scholarship, I will come back to my home country and teach English language teachers what I have learned in the USA. The American consul wouldn't, accept you. Why? Because they know that the government is already undertaking the similar program, but in a rather large scale than you have described. This program is called ESN, English Speaking Nation. So, American Council, in partnership with the Ministry of Public Education, is carrying out ESN, English Speaking Nation program. So they are already doing it. But you are writing in your application as if you are not aware of this program. And you are repeating what the program intends to do to them. So it doesn't work. Instead, I encourage you to find loopholes, overlooked pieces in this agenda or in that project, and explain to them how you could help to overcome these pieces or to manage these loopholes once you got this scholarship and come back to Uzbekistan. This would be more powerful. This would be more related to reality. So here, dear teachers, I conclude the first part of my presentation, which was about how to win scholarships. If you have any questions, may it be in Uzbek, English, and Russian, please do not hesitate to give them to me.
Mhm. Okay, Shahodat Obidova asks you, do they have options for studying after master degree in your scholarship? She's taking her master degree now and want to try for doctorate.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
If you want to do PhD, then, well, actually, majority of the universities offer grants and scholarships for PhD students. So you can directly apply for the university you want to study, you want to do your PhD degree in, and ask if they've got any scholarships. They usually, advertise scholarships and grants in their website, so in their university website. So stay tuned for that one.
Okay, so Dora Sami asked, hi, could you share your essay, please? Guys, you are kidding.
No, you know,
okay.
it's just to see how it was written.
Yeah,
So
just for copying out.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I can, but not right away because it's in my, old computer, but I can do it. I can send one of them to Jamilopa and she can share it with you in your Telegram Great.
Okay,
That's all right.
just conduct me, okay? So,
Yeah.
hi, Jamila and Ravshan. Great greetings from Scan, Ravshan, your beloved small town. So, they
Yeah.
sent, okay,
Any
one more.
dear teachers, do you have any questions? Nazm, was it Nazm John, right?
Yes, Nazmbek, are you here? Are you with us?
I
Nazmbek?
guess yes, he is.
Yes, Nazmbek. Any questions, Nazmbek?
So quick recap.
Could you elaborate on loopholes I couldn't get? So, Mubarak, Hazrat Kulova asks you, Ravshan.
Okay, all right. So, for example, as you know, the Ministry of Uzbekistan, in partnership with American Consul, they are carrying out ESN program, English Speaking Nation program. So while you are, for example, applying to FLTA and you want to connect this reality to your essay, then, you know, try to find the parts, try to find the places where this program is not working. Like this part is called, yes, loopholes, the things they overlooked and the things that you think if otherwise would have worked better. So loophole is a let's call it weak. It's not really, you know, yeah,
weak
not
chain.
probably weak points. Yeah, the overlooked parts of that program.
Any questions, guys? Any questions?
So then recap.
Thanks to
I should be
Ravshan
ready.
and me.
Recap.
Both
Okay, understanding the concept of the program, very important. Secret number 2, I will be really quick, guys, okay? I should attend to another meeting as well. Understand the selection process, please. Pay attention.
May I ask last question?
Yeah.
Ulboson, yes.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Ulboson, yes, you may ask him question.
How did writing skill? Is it skill or is that any secrets?
So your microphone is very bad.
Maybe you read. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Mr. Ravshan. Mr. Ravshan.
Yes. Go ahead.
How did you improve your writing skill? I mean, you read a lot of books, magazines, or another way. Is there any secrets, or to be good at critical thinking?
Yes, almost great. Great question, thank you. This might be something that other colleagues of us might be also interested in. So one way to improve your writing is writing a lot. And as I have put here, develop your thoughts on your essays year by year. I said to you that I couldn't win the scholarship in my first attempt, but rather in the third one. And each time I developed my essay grammatically and within, like, I mean, the ideas and thoughts. So each time I worked on it, I improved its grammar. I, for example, merged 2 simple sentences and made it one. But most importantly, in my writing follows. So there's you know, the words like coherence and cohesion. It's like the first paragraph is always sort of introduction for me. I start in broader terms about the thing I want to write, and I end my first paragraph with the thesis statement saying, answering the question.
Sorry, Ravshan, just a minute. Yes.
Jamila, you have this leverage You can turn the microphone off and
No,
on.
no. In our case, I cannot, as it seems to me. Yeah,
Okay.
really?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I can. I could do it.
So this is one way of improving your writing. As I said to you, I have applied to all of these scholarships, not only one. Each time I wrote, and each time I felt that my writing is, improving. So the second part, I will be really quick. So the second part is called How to Be a Great Teacher. I have approximately 5 years of experience as an English language teacher, but you might have 30s or 40s, just like Jamilapa, or you might have, a longer experience than I have. But I want to share with you what I have learned throughout these 5 years of being an English language teacher, and my ideas of how one can become really good English language teacher. So I've posted here a little thought. Like, by no means I claim that I'm great, because the greatness belongs only to him. So you understand whom I mean. So in 2017, I won this contest, the best teacher.
Of the Republic. Yes.
Yes, of the Republic, on Republican stage, let's say. And that gave me a little recognition to my efforts, but which was really great. So,
and you won 4 million, more than 4 million songs.
Yeah, 4.5 million songs. That was really good money at that moment. Right. Secret number 1. So I hope that all of you are my colleagues, my counterparts. So the first thing you should always keep in mind is that understand the 3 pillars of becoming a good teacher. So pillar number 1 is the knowledge of the field. If you are all English language teachers, then I should tell you, if you do not speak English really well, you cannot expect your students to speak English well. No. There's no way you can teach them English better than you can speak English. So that's the first pillar. Second, methodology. So choosing right methods of teaching always brings better results. So that's the second pillar. And the third pillar is psychology. Choose your language and approach properly. Otherwise, you will lose your students. You will lose their attention, and they will not learn from you. Let me tell you my own experience of the years while I was working at Second Academic Lyceum of Uzbek State World Language University. It was just before I won my scholarship and left that lyceum. I mainly worked with the third-year students at Academic Lyceum, and I worked with all the types of students, all the types of learners. But I want to tell you a story with a particular group which were only Uzbek-speaking students all gathered. So no matter what I brought to them every time, like I thought that I had really good, plan of delivery, really great methods, and I prepared them really. I thought it would be really interesting topics to discuss and to do really interesting listening tasks and reading tasks. No one paid attention. None of them were interested in the materials I prepared for them each time. I thought that would help them a lot to improve their IELTS, to get prepared for IELTS, and etc. But as I said, nobody was interested. Then I changed my mind and I brought the simplest things. I brought the pictures of cars, starting from the most expensive ones till the least expensive ones, the ones we had in Uzbekistan. Just pictures. And during this 90 minutes, we only talked about pictures, I mean cars. And everybody was engaged. Everybody was interested. Even those who didn't even speak English, they said few words in English. There I understood, if you are not taking into your account the psychology, then there is no way you can be a great teacher. What I mean by psychology is the interest of your learners. So what they are most interested in. The language. If you, for example, sound like the authoritative teacher who wants everything to be done on time at the right place, then it may not work. Rather, be flexible and be one of them. When you truly become one of them, they will communicate with you. They will speak to you, and that way it will be easy for you to engage them into in your lessons. So you are a teacher as well, me as well. I don't consider myself as a great teacher, as I said, but these are the pillars that each great teacher should have. So, next secret. Another secret of becoming a great teacher is planning and designing your own lessons. What I mean by this, probably starting from September of last year, I came back, I returned to teaching. And I started planning and designing my lessons, not following any, let's say, oh my God, by not following, let's say, any books or any syllables of the book. But I've made my own lesson plans. I designed my materials myself. I cherry-picked materials. So one part from this book and another part from that book. This way, in the end, I had my own lesson plans, and I managed to create my own brand. At the beginning of each lesson, I start with the same picture, with the same message. So in the end, that picture, that message became my brand. So I wish to you that you all plan and design your lessons. Do not follow one book. Like, for example, there are great sets of books nowadays. Like the old one was Headway, Enterprise, International, something. If you're just following one book, it's not enough. It cannot make you a great teacher. Only designing and planning your own lessons can make it great. Here I've wrote some secrets. Create your own syllabus and create your unique way of delivering it. And that way you will also achieve professional self-development. Very important. Each time you get prepared, each time you start preparing your lesson plan, and each time you start designing your materials, you will go through loads of other materials and cherry pick the most important ones and create your own. This is a great way of self-development as well, and I wish it to you. Do it, it helps you a lot. And the last one, I presume, is Never ignore the power of homework. Never, ever. If you were a teacher, then keep the followings in mind. Homework is the brother of learning. You see the smiling faces? So you know it in Russian, you say "Повторение мать учения" or something like this, but I've put here homework is the brother of learning. Why?
Maybe sister, maybe sister.
Maybe sister, I don't know. Yeah.
Relatives of learning.
Why? Because homework gives your students another opportunity to repeat today's lesson at home. Keep this in mind. It's a great opportunity for your students to repeat today's lesson at home. That's number one. Two, as a teacher, never ignore your students' homework, never. Always let them know the results on time and always check their homework. Why? Because by this way, you create a culture of doing homework. Your students will learn a lot from your feedback. They will find out what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. Only if you leave a feedback and only if you create this culture of doing homework. So everyone in your classroom should feel that homework is an integral part of your classroom culture. Each time you start or each time you refer to their homework, each time you say that, okay, I have checked your homework, that thing's really good. So I see that you have understood this part, but you couldn't, I guess, understand this thing. Always start your lesson with 1 or 2 remarks of students' mistakes. For example, when we studied with Jamila in Samarkand in ITFL program, was it?
Yes,
In
it was from
2015?
St. Giles University.
Yes, by St. Giles, yes, school. So we had 2 instructors, and most of the time they began their lessons with the sentences that they took from our essays, from our homework. Those sentences were contained 1 or 2 small mistakes. And each time they, not each time, but majority, and most times they began their lessons with the correction of our mistakes. So repetition of the homework. And by this way, they also build the link between the first lesson, second, third, fourth, and etc. They always left feedback, and that one was really powerful for us. So I wish you the same. Never ignore the power of homework. If your students are doing their homework, check it and leave your feedback. Write them few sentences, not words, not well done. Well done is not a feedback, I should tell you. Good job is not feedback. Right. Okay, for example, Ravshan, right? You have understood everything correctly. Or if I've made any mistakes with, let's say, grammar, particularly with articles, let's say, write them. So please keep this in mind. Before adjectives and noun composition, we always place a or n if the noun is singular or countable. Write some examples. It will help them a lot. Okay. So here is me visiting several countries, making loads of international friends. On the left, London, 2 at the top are from New York, 1 in the right corner is actually from France, but you see it here behind me as a background, but right there should be the picture of Mona Lisa. I was in Louvre, and these are my friends. So thank you for attention. If you have any questions, I'm right here to answer.
Ravshan, one of our participants asked you to go back to secret number 1 or 2. To secret number 1, if you. Oh, Shahnoza, is that? Is it that? Secret number 1 and secret number 2. Now secret number 2. Yeah.
Call you
Shahnoza,
back in a moment.
is that okay?
I call you back soon.
Show the first secret. Yes, it was the first secret. Now we have show the first secret. Good. I looked through the textbook. Have you looked through the textbooks, Ravshan? Give your opinion about them. Are they satisfactory?
Okay.
Have you looked through the
Yes.
textbooks?
I think what they're asking is that, do these secrets base on any textbook, or do they have any evidence on textbooks? In the beginning of my at the beginning of my presentation, I told you that these are the things I have learned throughout my experience of working as a teacher, and the first part was from my scholarship experience. So these are the things I've learned from my experience, from my lessons, and I've presented them to you. You may not find exactly the same message in the textbooks, but definitely you will more than this. Any?
Okay, Ravshan, may I go back to the my demonstration, or?
Sure.
May I ask answer?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
May I ask? Mr. Ravshan, you said a lot of messages to us, even to give feedback to their homework, but you know, we cannot manage sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time we cannot manage all of them in 45 minutes. How can we control the time?
So if you're referring it to
time
homework,
management, yes.
yeah, feedback to homework part, then not necessarily you should go one by one of that 35 students you have. I know 45 minutes is really I should say little. It's not that much time. Yeah. Well, when I said feedback, mostly I meant it in a written form. Okay. So if they submit their homework to you, yeah, then leave your feedback all the time, especially in the written form, on their notebooks. Okay.
Yes. Feedback. Maybe one of our webinar will be devoted to how to make feedback, because we Uzbekistan teachers don't know how to give feedback. So I know what does it mean. After that, 2 ladies from St. Giles University, London, UK, and we were there with Ravshan, and they gave us only positive feedbacks. And Ravshan, do you remember when we say we wrote our essay or micro teaching? When we were doing micro teaching, they gave us feedback, and I was so upset. I think that my lesson was the worst one, but when she gave me positive feedback, I was so motivated, Ravshan. And one more thing, I always do it with my listeners, with my teachers. Those that it was that nonsense word. Ravshan, do you remember that nonsense word?
We all try to guess.
So we were laughing. So these new groups, I'll show you how to work with numbers while teaching vocabulary. Okay, Ravshan, we have 5 more minutes. And in this case, I just want you, they all say Allah ilmingizin ziyada qilsin, Charles Conrad. Thank you so much. Good question. Really practical advice. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
we see.
for valuable information.
So there were 37, even 37 participants. So more workshops UST is doing, the more participants are participating, taking part in our webinar. So Ravshan, thank you very much for participation, for devoting your precious time to us.
Really
So I hope that Ravshan is not conducting just only webinars. So one day I said, Ravshan, it's your turn to go to take webinar.
Yes,
I didn't know that you will do it.
Yeah, that was really excellent. Yeah.
Ravshan, thank you very much
for being with me.
Okay.
I hope, I could help somehow with scholarships, with those who wanted to apply for scholarships and becoming a good teacher. And also, if you, I don't know, if you need my presentation, I can send it to Jamila.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And
usually presenters send it to me and I share it with, and I always ask you, don't take photos, I'll send you the presentations and etc. So thank you very much, Ravshan. We were very happy to have you in our webinar. And the next time, Ravshan, we ask you to participate because next presenter is Nilüfer Tellaeva from Webster University. He's familiar with her, brilliant teacher. She's former #2 Lyceum teacher. And now she is doing her PhD, as it seems to me, and she participated in different scholarships, won different scholarships. So it will be interesting webinar as well as Ravshan. Ravshan, thank you very much. My son is son.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jamila. Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.